If you haven't seen it yet, this video has been going viral all over the internet, but I think the most important thing has actually been missed here.
Perhaps tonight's motion is less about the West's relationship with Islam and more about yours. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president, you would be quite literally cooked.
There are so many people who watched this and said, what's the problem? This person has been offered protection. That's graciousness. Let me show you how gradual the subversion process is. You start with a liberal democracy, tolerance, free speech. The danger is that when liberal democracies tolerate intolerant ideologies, those ideologies don't adapt to our liberal values. We begin to adapt to their intolerance. Watch this. So if you don't know who Mao is, he's considered to be the greatest mass murderer in human history. He was the leader of the Chinese Communist Party. Historians also remark that he was psychopathically brilliant. He was a genius at understanding human psychology. In communist prisons, extreme torture, extreme deprivation, extreme humiliation, being bound by your arms and legs, being forced to eat meals like a dog with your mouth and your nose, defecating on yourself, extreme sleep deprivation, all of these cycles went on for months or years to lower the person's baseline. Eventually, that person would go in front of the judge for the 50th time, and the judge would say to them that the people, which is the regime, are showing you leniency and releasing you now. And then something very interesting happened. So Robert J. Lifton, who wrote about this in his book on thought reform and the psychology of totalitarianism, he actually interviewed these former prisoners, and these prisoners exhibited very favorable views about the communist regime because their baseline, their expectations of autonomy and freedom had been so lowered that that act of leniency was proof that the regime was good and kind and fair. This is how intolerant ideologies subvert. Whether they're communists or Nazis or Islamists, they enter liberal democracies and shift the baseline to intolerance. We learn to expect, baseline lowered, violence as a consequence for criticizing intolerant ideologies. And that act of protection, that's a show of graciousness. Now you've been subverted because you're grateful that people are being protected from violence. And you can no longer see that in a tolerant society, nobody should need protection.